All right, guys, in this video, I'm going to give you the raw truth, what your broker won't tell you, what other people won't tell you about how to actually be successful as a real estate agent and what that actually looks like, right? So when you first become an agent or when you first start to see success, they're going to tell you, that, oh, open houses are really good for you. Oh, door knocking. Oh, cold calling. All these little things, and they're like, oh, as you get older, as time goes on, more people will know you're an agent. You'll know more people in your sphere. You'll be able to close more deals. The thing is, a lot of people don't have time for that. I know I didn't. I didn't have, 7 years to finally be able to make $100,000 in this business, or 5 years of experience to finally become educated enough or have the sphere of influence or referrals to make, sell 20 plus properties. I didn't have that time. And I imagine if you're watching this, you don't either, right? So this is what they don't tell you. And this is what I learned. Let me take you back to my story. I got my license when I was 19. I was about to turn 20. I joined a brokerage. I did resale. I didn't have a team. They put me on Zillow Premier leads, Boomtown leads, all these sort of things that I was paying a lot of money for, which I didn't really have at the time. And these leads were unqualified. They weren't qualified, but it wasn't even that they weren't qualified to the point of I didn't know how to qualify them. Why? Because all I got was basic trainings at the brokerage and CE classes, but those are beneficial if you have the right mindset going into them. But what I really needed was to shadow successful agents and get the raw truth, which is what I'm doing right now, and having a one-on-one that could literally make a custom plan fit to my personality and my situation. Because everyone's different in this business. They're going to tell you, the internet's going to tell you, the gurus are going to tell you, oh, it takes a long time before you can close 10 million a year, close 25 plus properties a year. So back to what I was saying, I would go to these Zillow Premier leads and the brokers didn't give me enough information on how to qualify people. I'll be honest, I didn't know oh, before I go show you 7 houses, let's see if you even qualify with a pre-approval to afford these houses. Because if you can't do that, what are we doing? That's doing the process backwards. I didn't know that. Bro, nobody told me that. On the other side, they'll always tell you to promote yourself. Promote your social media, your marketing, your experience, your expertise. You can do that through conversation. You don't have to overcompensate and do that all the time. Because buyers and sellers could care less how much real estate you've sold. Unless you're selling luxury. They could care less how nice your marketing is, all this sort of stuff. They want to know if you can help them. How do you know how to help them? You learn about them first. It's nothing to do with you in the beginning. It's everything to do with the client, which is the buyer or the seller. You learn about them. Why are you selling, Mr. Customer? They're going to tell you why. Now you're going to know if they're in a rush, if it's because of money, or if they're just really thinking about it. That's how you know to go about their situation so that they can move forward with you as their agent. What's your most desired outcome, Mr. Seller? Oh, I would like to get X amount for the house. Why? Is it because they need that money to go build their own house? Is it because they need that money to buy a condo in Florida? Why this, that, and the other? What's your most desired outcome? Financially, conditionally, everything. You have to ask all these questions so that they can tell you what they exactly want out of the situation. Because if you can't help them get exactly what they want out of the situation, then you're not going to do a good job for them. And you're either not going to get the deal done or they're not going to use you. Your broker will tell you, the internet will tell you, the gurus will tell you to promote yourself, do this, the other, and you'll get more leads. The thing is, you can promote yourself all you want and get all the leads in the world. But if you can't help these people get what they want, then the amount of leads you have is irrelevant because you're not going to close any of them. So what they don't tell you that I'm going to tell you, what worked for me. I did what everyone said. Open houses, online leads, Zillow leads, all this stuff. Didn't sell a house for 8 months. Wasn't working with qualified buyers. Wasn't, going to my listing appointments with the correct frame, learning about them and their desired outcome. And I wasn't educating these people, these clients, on what it looks like to actually sell in your market, what it looks like to buy, what that entails. So for 8 months, I made no money because I did it the way the world and the business tells you to do it. Now I was 21 years old. And I was like, that works for people that have been doing this for 10 years. I don't have that long. I said I was going to make $100,000 in my first year, and I'm going to do it one way or another. I'm going to figure that out. So I said, what looks to be working right now? Developers and builders. And I remember I went to my broker and I said, arrogantly, I was like, give me a development. Give me 60 listings and I'll sell all of them. They were like, that's not possible. That's not going to happen. We're not going to do that for you. Sorry, this person's flashing their lights at me. It makes no sense. We're not going to do that for you. And I said, well, what if I find a developer or a builder? And they were like, good luck with that. You have no experience. You don't know what you're doing. And I was like, okay. 2 months later, long story short, I found one. I found a builder. They were fresh. They had a beautiful development, 70 listings, 70 lots, and I took it and I ran with it. And this is where I developed how to fast track 7 years of experience as an agent into one. I worked for this builder. Now I had product and I had access to construction and I had access to development. So now I really began to educate myself on the business. I had lenders in my back pocket. I had construction all over me. So I learned the ins and outs of construction. I learned the ins and outs of permitting, developing, everything there has to do with getting a loan for a home. So now I have a lot of education to bring to the table for buyers. And on top of that, screw listings. I have 70 of them. I have $700,000 in commission in front of my face. So this is how I went about it. I developed my own system with my own structure based on my personality. I would go to the site when they needed me and when I set up appointments. And I kept a journal, and I still do this, of daily tasks that you have to do every single day to move your business forward, to get more appointments, to qualify people, to promote your listings, this, that, or the other. I had a journal. Most agents go all willy-nilly all year and wing everything, and that's why it's unprofessional and we get a bad rep. No, I treated it like an office job. I was in there every day on site, either learning out of the construction of the business or meeting with a lender for lunch and learning that side, the money side of the business. That way, when I go to talk to buyers, I know exactly how to go about it and to win them over every time with my expertise and my knowledge. So, as I started to get traction and working with more buyers for my listings, I would not make it about me or the product, because that's salesy, very salesy. You want to build the relationship so that you stand out. If you don't stand out, then you're just another real estate agent saying all this wonky stuff that doesn't make any sense to me. You got to remember, this doesn't make sense to any of these people, buyers or sellers. So I would simply develop a relationship, build a rapport. I'm taking them to lunch. I'm buying their lunch. That's different. Oh, you're asking me about my kids and my family and my situation, my money, where I lived before this, why I want to live over here? That's weird. What does the most desired outcome look like for me when it comes to living with my family? Is it about the location? Is it about the house itself? Is it about your family? What is it about? Why do you want to live here? Why do you want to buy at this price point? Where are you most comfortable at? I learned all this stuff about these people, and I would just let them tell them about themselves. People love to talk about themselves. You guys, agents love to talk about themselves. How about you flip the script and let the customer talk about themselves? They'll do it. When they tell you everything, you can simply play dumber and close more deals. Let me explain that. They've told you everything about themselves and their most desired outcome. So now I'm going to insert my value to that specific situation through my expertise and education. If this is your desired outcome, let me show you exactly how I help you get there. And that's it. You simply lay it all out for them, financially, situationally, time-wise, what you can do to fit their desired outcome. And I started selling off the wall. And I had a lot of competition of resale listings, development listings, complexes, apartments, condos, this, that, and the other. And so many people bought from me, and they literally said word for word, it wasn't even about your listing or your product. It was honestly more about you, Tommy. You made us feel comfortable, and you listened to us, and then you helped us get what we wanted. You see, people are gonna go to showings and like a bunch of different stuff. But if the person selling it to them rubs them wrong, they might not go for it. If they don't listen to their situation and try to strong arm them into something, they might not go for it. People were buying from me because they liked me as a person. And that goes against everything that they tell you when you first get into this business. They tell you to make it about yourself and market yourself and exploit yourself. I made it all about the buyer. People loved it. And then as I started closing more deals, it started becoming referral based. You know, I closed this guy, John. My first deal ever, John. And John was a younger guy, had a lot of money. I helped him and his family get exactly what they wanted. John and me became friends, like literally friends. This is like a 32-year-old man. I was 21 at the time. He was like, we were talking, texting, we were boys, this, that, and the other. And then, 2 months later after he moved in, he was happy and he was just like, dude, I love what you've done and how you treated us and how you helped us. Like, my brother's looking to move. Like, do you have another development or listing in this area? And I was like, for sure. I'll either find him one or yeah, I get him something. I listened to his desired outcome, sold him. That's a $10,000 commission check that I strictly got from a relationship that I've built. And it didn't take me 7 years to build that sphere and build that relationship. 4 months later, his brother's wife, sister, so also in his family, I helped her buy from another builder. You're like, huh, dang. That's 3 deals from 1 off of a relationship. Not me exploiting myself and being all selfish. I met their terms and their desired outcome, and it led to more sales. They're going to tell you that you have to do this, that, or the other, and this will only work, and you'll only get to that point through, years of experience. I gained years of experience quickly because I did it in a certain way. And I learned that's the way to sell real estate, right? The more people I can feel comfortable through the transaction and let them make the decision, the better they feel after the close, and the more likely they are to either use me again or refer me to everybody else.